Margaret Tánaiste and Seán Crowe.
Good Margaret Tánaiste. I suppose the question is specifically about Mr. John Downey, but it also concerns another Irish citizen, Michael Burns, who similarly was arrested in similar circumstances. Tánaiste, both governments shouldn't underestimate how much anger these arrests have caused among Republicans and people right across the island. The arrests were in breach of the Good Friday Agreement and built on Western Park and the commitments made by the British government at that time. John Downey and Michael Burns received confirmation letters from the NIO in 2007 stating that they were not wanted by the PSNI or any British police force for any offence and were therefore free to travel. Would you accept that arrests like these undermine the confidence placed in the police service and the justice system and reduce the value of solemn agreements made by all parties, particularly both governments? And again, they're not isolated incidents. There's other vindictive and hostile cases, and we've discussed them in this House in relation to Marion Price, Pádraig Wilson, Jerry McGeoch, Martin Corey and others. So the difficulty is, I suppose there's two aspects of it. It's a political aspect, clear breach of the agreement. It's also the impact it's actually having on his family. He's 6 weeks in jail. He's 6 weeks in jail. His family haven't access to him. His local TD, Pierce Doherty, has been refused a representational visit. Local neighbour MP Pat Doherty has been allowed a visit, but being told he won't be allowed on a similar visit in future. There was clothes sent in to him. It took a week before he actually got those clothes. So there's a lot of vindictive nature in relation to this case. And Fublot was banned because of the Irish content in that newspaper, despite the fact that other prisoners seem to have a problem in relation to other language.
Thank you.
It's impacting on a political level, but on a family level as well.
I call the Tánaiste. I call Deputy Crowe later. Deputy Tánaiste.
Well, I think there are a number of aspects to this. First of all, there's the strictly legal aspect, and I'm careful not to stray into that, and I'm sure Deputy Crowe understands that fully. Secondly, there is the issue of the conditions in which he is being held. And this has been raised both by our embassy in London. There were some issues relating to health matters that were raised. The issues in relation to visits have been raised. We have, as I said, since his arrest, there was a consular visit on the 29th of May. Another visit is scheduled for today. We have facilitated access by elected officials to the prisoner, Pat Doherty MP, and there was a request for expedited access for Deputy Doherty. The embassy in London has made representations to the prison authorities regarding his health and his medical needs, including regarding the mitigating of conditions in which he is being held. Now, it is clear that this arrest has a significant impact on others in similar circumstances and their wider circles. Both governments have long ago agreed on the need to find a way of sensitively addressing those who have been involved in paramilitary activity. I have discussed this matter with the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland on 2 occasions now, and I hope to meet her again on it in the near future. And our officials continue to have regular discussions on these issues.
Thank you, Tánaiste. Deputy Crowe, 1 minute for supplementary.
I suppose the big question people are asking is why at this time? Why did this happen? I suppose the big consequences is, as you say, is in relation to those other individuals who have been given similar assurances by the British government, letters of assurances in relation to that the British police or services are not interested in, arresting these people, and there's no charges outstanding in relation to. So I suppose that's the big question that many people are out there in relation to asking to know what impact is this going to have on our lives. But specifically in relation to this case, there's a whole pattern there that they seem to be attacking John Downey and his family in relation to the fact that they're not allowed access to the jail, legal representation. It's an unusual case, But the fact that there's others seem to be arrested now as well is going to have an impact. So I suppose what messages is sending out to those who were supportive of the peace process, including Mr Downey in relation to this?
Thank you.
What message does it send out in relation to the process? So I welcome the fact you're going to try and reinvigorate discussions on the on-the-runs, and I think it's one of those areas that has to be dealt with. And yes, we do need to deal with aspects of the past.
Well, I want to make it clear that I have been in contact with the Secretary of State about this case, and my department has also been in contact with officials on the British side about this case. And I think there are two principal issues here. One is the conditions in which he is being held. Very high, the Category A status that has been assigned to him. These are issues that we have discussed with the British authorities. The second issue, which is the wider issue, and that is, and you referred to letters that this man had received and that others have received, from which they concluded that they weren't being sought by the police service or by the legal system. And indeed, I know in this particular case that this man had travelled in and out of Britain on a number of occasions, and had not expected that anything of this kind was going to happen. And I think there is a concern, and I understand the concern of people who have received those assurances and are now saying to themselves, well, are those assurances, are they solid? And they look at this case and wonder about their own situation. Okay. And we do have to get get clarity and assurance on that, and I'm very, very conscious of that. And I'm conscious of the impact that this and the other arrests that you refer to is having on a wider circle of people, and that is something that I am discussing with the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland.